Hi, my name is Catherine, and this is Accounting My Stitches, my YouTube channel where I talk about all things cross stitch. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me today. Today is Tuesday, September 9th, and this is also Flosstube number 9, so it's the 999 video. I searched online, and there's nothing bad about that, so we're all good. It's just what a fun coincidence. As usual, I will start with well, actually, before I get to WIPs, I did finish the artist trading card for Laura Stitching by the Shore, her fall swap. I finished stitching it. I haven't FFO'd it, so I'm just going to wait and show you that when that's done. Now I'll get to my WIPs, starting with Tree of Books by xCountingtheStarsx. This is 16 count easy grid Ada using 2 strands. Since you've last seen it, I've done 2,119 stitches for a total of 21.64%. And the really exciting part is this is a page finish right here. Ta-da! Obviously, for the first row, I worked, well, not row, but you know what I mean. I worked all the way across. And I did the math on, okay, well, this was about 30 stitches high. So maybe for the next row, I do about 30 stitches high. And then I was like, well, but there's a page, right? Just a little higher. And so I decided to just extend it to get that full page finish, which is very exciting. And then, well, it's actually funny. Over the Labor Day weekend, I wanted to push. I think I started Labor Day weekend at 18%. It might have been 17 point something, who knows. But so I did the math that to get to 20% by, the end of Monday, Labor Day, I'd have to get, it was like 400 stitches a day. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And then I'm putting it away. Just, because there's so much seasonal stitching fall, and then we'll have Christmas. I'm watching Pepper back there to make sure he doesn't nom on that plant. He's cool for now. Anyway, so, with all the seasonal stitching, I hadn't really felt drawn to this piece. And so I did that, and it was kind of a slog through Labor Day weekend, but I got it done. I hung out with Andrew, the runner stitcher, during his live stream, his YouTube live, whatever it's called. And that was fun. And I thought, okay, I hit my 20%. I'm going to put it away. Maybe until the new year. Well, there weren't that many stitches remaining on the page. There were, by my count, it was like maybe 600. I don't really know, because obviously it's not an exact science here. But so then I got the page finish. So I kept it out. And I got the page finish. And then I just was like, and now I want to start down here. So, who's to say? I think I'll be keeping this out. But, as soon as you tell Flosstube something, you change your mind. So we'll see. But yes, I'm very excited to have my first page finish. This is my first super full coverage and my first page finish. Very excited. Next, I have for you Yosemite by VladaXStitch. Oh, and this is what the pattern will look like. This is where I was last time. Since you've last seen it, I've done 943 stitches for 40%. Very fun. As you can see, I've prepped a lot of fill-in. I guess I'll talk about my retreat plans in plans, but prepped a lot of easy fill-in. So we'll see. Part of me feels like I can fill this in a day, but definitely not when I get to counting how many squares it is. Part of me feels like it's going to take so long, but we'll see. But fun to have it so mostly outlined. Okay, and so next I have my start. As promised, I started Halloween Letters by Primrose Cottage. This is on a 16 count Ada that I dyed myself. It was my first attempt, and it turned out a little too dark for the piece I was looking for, but I kept it in stash, and it's perfect for this. I'm also doing this for the hashtag Season of the Witch Sal, hosted by Nicole at Thistle and Thread. It officially started on September 1st. I got a bit of a cheeky start. I started, I think that Saturday, maybe. I think my thing was I got my 400 stitches a day over that Labor Day weekend into Tree of Books. And when that was done, I said I could pick this up. So I did that, and then obviously some more work since then. It's gotten 1,263 stitches. It is 19%. As you can see, I've prepped some more fill-in, And funny story with this ghost, I started in the middle, which was around here somewhere. And so I did that. Well, and also, somewhat obviously, it calls for white for the ghost, and there's some more ghosts. There's some white pumpkins even over here, but it called for B5200. But I know that glow in the dark floss exists, and I said, wouldn't that be fun to use glow in the dark floss? So I'm using the glow in the dark, which is, I think it's like E940, whatever it is, for the ghosts, but then for the like very boring white parts, I'm still using B5200. So I started, so this ghost was the first time that I'd used that glow in the dark floss. And so I did my 2 strands. So I thought for my loop start, and I did even, I think this is even 2 strands worth. Anyway, and then I get over here to this little baby ghosty, and again, I take out, well, I think I'm taking out 1 strand for the 2-stranded loop start. And on that one, I went, oh, wait, this is actually 2 strands that I pulled. That would be 4 strands. Ha, ha, ha. Like, let me not do that. Set that down. So I did it in definitely 2 strands. And then I compared, and I went, oh, yeah, no, this was 4 strands. But I really liked the full coverage of this. And so I thought about what to do, and I ended up stitching over it again with 2 more strands. It's not the same effect, but I'm sure it'll be fine in the end. And obviously it's not done being filled in. This isn't done being filled in. And there are more, this is the start of a ghost. Like that's a ghost wearing a witch hat, and there's like a band there, and then the ghosty comes over here. So I'm just going to use 4 strands on those and see how that works. I'm sure I'll be able to figure that out. But yes, very excited to have a start on this. And honestly, I wasn't sure it was going to get done even by Halloween, but it's already 19%, so I'm optimistic. And now I move on to haul. So if haul is not your thing, you can go ahead and go about your day. Thanks so much for stopping in. First thing I have to show you, so the needlework market back in August happened, and there were just a few charts that I had to have, and I pre-ordered them from my LNS Stitchwork Design Co. here in Hoover, Alabama. And so I got the chart for Here There Be Dragons by Sprouting Lupine. When she showed this on Midsummer Stitch, I said, yes, that will be mine. Thank you so much. Yeah, I really liked it. And then while I was at Stitchworks, I went ahead and kitted it up because I knew I didn't have that fabric and I was kind of going called for. So I got this fabric. It's 14 count. It's by Dames of the Needle, and the color is called Cow Fodder. And on 14 count, this will fit great in an 8x10, which is why I'm choosing 14 count. And I went ahead and got most of the called for colors. I almost wasn't going to, but here I am. They're just so pretty. I love the variegated effects. But so the red, the black, and the brown. It also calls for a white. I think it's Gentle Arts Antique Lace. Yes, is what it calls for. But I'll just use B5200. I didn't feel like that was needed. But so I kitted this up, and also it was so nice. I was at the store, and well, I barged in right at 10 a.m. as the doors opened. Like I got there, at like 9:58, and so I just parked in my car. It said closed, and then as soon as she like walked up, flipped the sign over to open, I just barged right in. So I was the only one in there for a little bit of time. I was like playing with all this fabric, and when I decided that this was the one I was going for, I looked at a couple others. I said, okay, yes, I'll get this. And she said, do you want me to search that for you? I said, yes, thank you so much. So shout out Greta. I don't know if she always does that or if I just got lucky because I was the only one in there at that time, but I thought that was really nice. And definitely if you are in the need for buying some fabric, consider her. So I kitted that up. And the other thing that I got from the needlework market is this Gift of October by Heartstring Samplery, this Biscornu. I haven't done a Biscornu before, but I just love the cute, the pumpkin and just these small motifs. I thought it wouldn't take that long. I think I tried to put it into markup, and it still said it was like almost 5,000 stitches, which is surprising. But I thought this was so cute, and I ended up getting the called for Classic Colorworks Autumn Spice for that pumpkin. I'm just going to use DMC for the rest of this. I'm going to do this on 18 count white Aida for sure. I don't exactly know when I'm going to start this. I think probably after I finish Halloween letters, but there's also so much other good Halloween stitching to be done. So who's to say? Oh, and the other thing I forgot to say about this chart, Here There Be Dragons, I don't have any specific plans on when I'm going to start this, but, well, even according to I love when they give me a stitch count, because the stitch dimensions tell me how big it is, but it doesn't tell me how much work it's going to be. I need you to tell me how much work it's going to be. Anyway, no specific plans on when I'm going to start this, but obviously I have the full kit now. And so if you are going to start this, you let me know. And I could probably be convinced. And less than 5,000 stitches, it should go relatively fast. So yeah. And also my last thing in haul is that I won a giveaway from Rachel at Lemonade Stitching. The Hathaway Stitchers were giving away this Silks for You silk at StitchCon. Rachel gave away, I don't know if they gave her an extra. I watched her video where she said, of course, but I don't remember the details. Either they gave her an extra or she gave away her own floss. Who's to say? But regardless, very kind. So the Hathaway Stitchers were giving this away at StitchCon, and Cam the Stitcher made a pattern, which I will put up here, using just these two colors and 310, called Take an Inventory. Just very fun. And so Rachel gave away this floss and also got Cam to send me the pattern. So I'm very excited to have both of those. Again, no exact plans on when I'm going to stitch it. It might be in the new year after seasonal stitching, but again, who's to say? But yay, so exciting. This is the first giveaway that I've won. Very fun. Moving on to plans. So I will be at the Stitching in the Wild retreat this weekend, hosted by Garon Stitchery here in Alabama. So if you happen to be there, please come see me, come say hi. And then the weekend after that, I will be attending Harvest Moon Hangout, hosted by Lindy Stitches. I already have my ticket. Some of the sneak peeks on those exclusive patterns that are going to drop, there's one where there's definitely a black cat and a pumpkin, and I think I'm going to need that. But yes, that'll be the following weekend. Very excited. I spend a lot of time in the stitching rooms there, and I try to post on my Instagram story which stitching room I'm in once I, spend enough time there to know that this is a good vibe and I'm going to hang out for a couple hours. So if you're interested in finding me, definitely check my Instagram stories, or, just send me a DM. It would be great to see you there. And that's all I have. So as usual, I wish for you the serenity to accept the mistakes you cannot change, the courage to frog the ones you can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I'll see you next time. Bye.